Hello everyone, welcome back to another Project Gladiator weekly overlook. Today I'll be covering the weather for the week of July 23rd of 2023 until July 29th of 2023. I am posting and making this a day early, so some stuff may not be as accurate. I am doing this because I have to go on vacation next week, and I will not be able to be contacted over next week, as I will be going camping in a place with pretty much no service. So I am making this a day early as I do leave tomorrow for vacation. So starting off with weather for this week, starting off with our jet stream pattern, you can see that we do have a high pressure system in the southwest that is expected to move eastward very slowly over this week and by next week as well. It is expected to become pretty stationary over the central plains and push the jet stream further up north across the northwest, northern plains, and northern midwest. So that is going to be the main region for that will focus our severe weather development region, the northern plains, northwestern region of the United States, and then northern Midwest. It's going to be in a very concentrated area, in that area in particular. However, our high pressure system is expected to become a very dangerous situation over the next few days. It is expected to rise temperatures to very dangerous levels across the Midwest, the Central Plains, and even as far north as South Dakota. We are expecting to see temperatures in the 100 degrees. I will show you our temperatures on our temperature models and our temperature anomaly models in a few minutes. However, I will be mostly focusing on severe weather development for the first half of this forecast. Taking a look at our dew points, focusing on the north central plains, the northern Midwest, and the northwestern region of the United States. Even with strong northerly flow, you can see that we do have dew points that are expected to be pretty strong as far north as Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. So we can definitely see some fairly strong instability with our humidity plume and our instability plume as far north as Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota, to allow for the possibility of some severe weather development. With fairly strong zonal flow, we probably won't have all that much of a tornado threat this week. However, we will see the possibility of large to very large hail some of the days, as very strong zonal flow will allow for the possibility of some fairly strong speed shear and the possibility of some elongated hodograph supporting large to very large hail. Taking a look at our cape with our given dew points that we have, you can see focusing on the region that the strong jet stream is moving through, the north central plains of the northern Midwest, as that will be the primary focus for severe weather development for much of this week. You can see that we do have some fairly strong instability that is expected to be across that region. With our dew points that we are given in our humidity plume, we do have a fairly strong instability plume across that region as well, to support the possibility of some large to very large hail, with the possibility of elongated hodographs and strong zonal flow, as well as the possibility of some fairly strong damaging outflow gusts on some days. But again, with strong zonal flow, we don't really have all that much of a possibility of tornadoes this week. Taking a look at our bulk shear, you can see, focusing on the north central plains and the northern Midwest, you can see that we do have some fairly strong bulk shear. A lot of this is likely going to be speed shear, as again, it is primarily zonal flow. So with speed shear in the 50 knots and 40 knots and even the 30 knots, we could definitely see the possibility of elongated hodographs, the possibility of large to very large hail for much of this week. And you can see that is expected to persist for a large portion of this week, possibly even getting up to the 70 knots and 60 knots across North Dakota and Montana for what looks like Sunday of this week. So again, we could definitely see the possibility of fairly elongated hodographs and the possibility of some large to very large hail for much of this week. Now taking a look at our temperature anomaly, if you don't know what this is, so say in the reds here, we have an average temperature for this time of year. So in the reds is like say 10 degrees or 7 degrees or 6 degrees above average, while in the blues it means that it is below average, so 8 degrees, so -8, -4, -6 degrees below average for this time of year. So you can see with that high pressure system that is expected to move over the central plains, you can see that we do have a very strong temperature anomaly here, getting up to even the 20 degrees above average and the 25 degrees above average as far north as North Dakota and southern Canada. So this is going to allow for the possibility of very intense temperatures across the Midwest for a very large portion of this week. and they could possibly be even very dangerous temperatures. They almost get up to 30 degrees above average in South Dakota and North Dakota and even Minnesota. And then taking a look at our temperatures, you can see that we are expected to have very, very strong temperatures for a large portion of this week. Temperatures that are expected to get as high as 110 across northern Texas, and even as far north as Canada, southern Canada, and in Montana. You can see temperatures in the 199s. And with GFS models definitely watering down a lot of these models, we could definitely see the possibility of temperatures that do reach above 100 degrees as far north as southern Canada, and across Montana, North Dakota, and even Nebraska. Temperatures getting close to 110 are expected to be possible across states as far north as South Dakota, and even temperatures as high as 109, 103, 105, 106, and even 110 and 107 across the Central Plains and the Southern Plains as well. And temperatures as high as 103 can be possible across southern Iowa and a large portion of the Midwest, and temperatures getting as high as 90 degrees for Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, and Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. And these are getting just almost very, very close to the temperatures in Death Valley. So these are going to be extremely dangerous temperatures for a large portion of this week with this heat dome and this high pressure system. So if you have any plans this week and you live in the affected areas, please take necessary precautions for extreme heat this week. Make sure you're taking a water bottle wherever you go if you have plans outside, if you live in these affected regions, as you need to stay hydrated in a time like this. So definitely please stay safe and make sure you're staying hydrated if you live in the affected areas. Now that I've told you the weather, please go down to the description and check out the socials for Project Gladiator, and join the Discord for any updates on Project Gladiator. If you live in any of the affected areas, please stay weather alert for the time being. And if you live in the areas that are expected to see extreme temperatures this week, please make sure you are staying safe and staying hydrated if you live in those affected areas. And hopefully I will be able to see you guys next week with another forecast.